What funny family story do you now realize was actually kind of messed up? So growing up, we had this thing in my family called the Great Disappearing Act that honestly everyone thought was hilarious at the time. My dad would organize these elaborate scenarios where one family member would just vanish during a random weekend, and the rest of us had to find them before dinner time. Like a super intense game of hide and seek, but on a neighborhood scale. I remember being like 8 when it was my mom's turn to disappear, and my dad made it this whole detective thing with me and my younger brother Lucas. We had to solve these little riddles dad left around the house to figure out where mom might be hiding. We'd get so excited about it TBH, running around the neighborhood with our little detective kits. Just backpacks with snacks and flashlights LOL. One time when I was 12, it was my turn to disappear. Dad woke me up super early on Saturday and whispered that today was my day. I was so pumped. He gave me $20 and dropped me off at the mall when it opened, telling me to stay hidden but in public places, and that they'd be looking for me by noon. I spent like 4 hours wandering around the mall by myself, feeling like some kind of super spy on a mission. I remember sitting in the food court, watching the clock, feeling this weird mix of excitement and anxiety as noon approached. Like, would they find me quick? Would I win by staying hidden the longest? My brother Lucas held the record at 7 hours and I was determined to beat him. But then 1 p.m. came, then 2 p.m., then the mall started getting kinda empty as the afternoon wore on. By 4 p.m. I was getting legit worried. My $20 was almost gone from buying snacks and playing at the arcade. I was getting scared but kept telling myself, this is just part of the game, they're testing you. By 5 p.m., I was sitting on a bench near the mall entrance crying when my mom finally showed up, looking frantic. Turns out there had been a huge fight between my parents that morning after dad dropped me off. Mom had no idea he'd taken me to the mall for the game. She thought I was at my friend Sabrina's house. When she called Sabrina's mom around 3 p.m. for pickup arrangements and found out I wasn't there, she freaked. My dad had forgotten about me at the mall for hours. The crazy thing? This got spun into our family lore as this hilarious story about how I won the disappearing game by stumping everyone so good that even dad forgot where he put me. Everyone would laugh about it at family gatherings like, remember when Melanie was so good at hiding that dad forgot where he hid her? Lol. My brother Randall would always chime in with, at least dad remembered to pick you up eventually, and everyone would howl with laughter. And I never got what he meant until years later when he told me about his turn in the game. Apparently when he was 10, dad drove him to our grandma's house 2 towns over without telling her, then got distracted by work stuff and left him there for 2 days. Grandma just rolled with it thinking it was a planned visit. There was this other time. Dad took us both to disappear together at this huge park across town. It was winter and freezing, but he said it added to the challenge for mom to find us. He dropped us at this playground and told us to stick together but keep moving so we'd be harder to track. We ended up huddled in this public bathroom for like 3 hours because it was the only heated place. When mom finally found us, Lucas had literal blue lips, but everyone just laughed about how we were survival experts now. Dad even bought us hot chocolate after and said we'd earned our wilderness badges. Oh, and there was this absolutely wild time when my dad decided to level up the game by making Randall disappear during our family vacation to visit relatives. We were staying at my aunt's house, and dad secretly drove Randall to our cousin Robbie's place 20 minutes away without telling anyone. My aunt and mom spent half the day in absolute panic thinking he'd been kidnapped before dad finally admitted it was just the disappearing game. Everyone was furious at first, but somehow by dinner, it had become this hilarious story about how dad really got them good this time. I remember my aunt laughing so hard she was crying while saying, I almost called the police, you jerk. When I brought this up at Thanksgiving, saying maybe it wasn't the cute family tradition everyone thought it was, my parents got so defensive. My dad was like, kids today are too sheltered, nothing bad ever happened to you. And my mom was all, it taught you independence and problem-solving skills. The worst realization came when I found out why my dad started this tradition. Apparently his father would sometimes just vanish for days without warning, and the family would have to function without him until he decided to come back. My dad somehow twisted this trauma into a fun game, where he controlled the abandonment instead of being the one abandoned.